Jay Bills for me to Spotlight UK, reunited with Adam Brooks in the building ahead of his fight with King Kenny. I mean, it's been a couple of months. I think it was November the last time I saw you with your fight with Rhino. I mean, how have you been since then? Because obviously you must have been over the moon from, you know, that moment and obviously leading to now.
So I was on cloud nine for a few months after the Rhino fight. I didn't expect it to go that way. And now to get a call up to fight King Kenny is like, you know, it's a dream. And as I say, a lot of people know I got into this scene because of my 14-year-old boy. He's a big fan. And, you know, now I'm not only doing it for him, I'm doing this for me. This is a big sort of milestone in my life to be fighting on a big stage. As a young kid, I dreamt of fighting on a big stage. I was never a fighter. I was never allowed to do it. So now I'm living that dream in my 40s. So, no, exciting stuff.
Take me back to your fight with Rhino, because obviously, you know, the big sort of setup, obviously you brought your son to the ring as well. You know, gladiator, like well known in the boxing sphere as well. When that moment that you gave him, I think it was the uppercut, and then he came down, like what was the initial emotions that you felt at that point?
Again, I try and remember a lot of the fight, but any fighter will tell you, especially novices like us, you know, it's all a blur, a lot of it. But I must have watched the fight 50 times. And I caught him with the uppercut a few times, and it rocked him, and he was holding me. So I knew he was open to it. But again, at the end of the first round, I was lucky to still be there because he caught me 4 or 5 times clean. But after that, I went to the corner with my coach, and it was almost a bit of confidence, like he can't hurt me. So, you know, maybe my fundamentals went out the window a little bit, dropping my hands, but I was looking for that uppercut, and it came, and the rest is history.
I mean, of course, obviously, like, you know, at this point now, you've got a new opponent in King Kenny. You both have not wasted any time in taking digs at each other already. You know, you were saying, I think I saw a video of you saying that you're looking to make a big upset on Misfits. I mean, Kenny coming back saying that I'm going to put him in retirement and things like that. So, I mean, what do you rate King Kenny as far as being a fighter and how his progress has been up to this point?
Look, he's a fantastic fighter, technically. After his last fight against Winderson, I actually tweeted that he looked like a pro. I think I was really impressed with his technique, the way he dominated. He took Winderson out of the game. And, you know, I understand that it's against me technically wise. Youth, he's got everything against me. But I don't think he's going to like being in a fight with me. Because one thing, I won't take a backward step, and I'll be hunting that chin the whole fight. So if he shows me the chin, he's in trouble, and if I connect with a right, he's gone.
Because of course you have like two wins on your belt in the not one win on the Misfits, and then you had a win before, so 2-0 record, and obviously Kenny's had a mixed record, different types of opponents, pretty hard-hitting opponents up until this point. How would the dynamics be in terms of, you know, you having less experience as far as the Misfits world, but, you know, you've done unlicensed boxing before, so how did that dynamic play into it?
We worked it out the other day. I think he's had 25 or 26 sort of pro rounds under Misfits and Kingpin. I've had 1.5, you know, and my unlicensed fight against Bash, I knocked him out in 30 seconds. So that was a bit, like, my experience is nothing compared with him. So as I say, I've got everything against me, but I've been a fighter my whole life. You know, I like fighting. Unfortunately, in my younger days, maybe I like fighting too much. If this was outside the ring, it would last 10 seconds. I'd destroy him. So in there, I understand he's got his fundamentals and he's a good boxer. I've just got to get inside. I will put it on him. And let's see if he's got a chin.
Because there are a lot of talks, obviously, you know, Salt Papi main event in, obviously your fight with King Kenny. There's been a lot of talks in terms of should it be, for example, if King Kenny were to win against you and then Salt Papi winning his fight respectively, that it could be them fighting each other. But should it be the case that you win against King Kenny, and obviously if Salt Papi were to win his fight, would a fight with Salt Papi entertain you at this point?
Look, I'm just enjoying the journey. And Coach Solomon, who trains Salt Papi, actually said, yeah, if Adam wins, we could fight him next. You know, that would be amazing. Again, this is a sport. It's a science. There's no bad blood between me and anyone in this scene, even Kenny. You know, words are going to be exchanged, but look, that's the sport, and afterwards you have a hug and you become friends. But look, a fight against that man there, Salt Papi, would be amazing. But I've got to get past Kenny first, and I've got to respect Kenny because, as I say, you know, he can look pro-ish at times. I'm a novice. Let's see, I'm coming for the upset. And if Misfits want me again, win or lose, I'm there.
I mean, because you've been active on the socials, like with your training especially, you know, you're very passionate about Misfits. Because we talked last time how from the very beginning, like even from the Kingpin days, that you've been active in it. So I guess this is a way of like promoting the idea that, you know, you're putting your all in terms of training, but you're wanting to put your mark out there as a fighter.
You know what? Misfits captured me. Obviously, it captured my son when we went, but it captured me. It took me back to the WWF days when I was a kid. The entertainment, you know, seeing the stars, seeing the characters. And to be a part of it really is a blessing for me. And to make a friend in Mams, you know, we speak quite a lot during the week. I've made a lot of friends in this scene. And it's brought me, you know, it's brought me closer to my coach. You know, I just enjoy being here. And I think Misfits has got a lot to be proud of for what it's doing. It's bringing a lot of kids into gyms. It's getting a lot of eyes on there. You know, obviously KSI and Tommy Fury brought a lot of eyes. Logan Paul on Misfits. I think it's only going to get bigger and better. And I've got big sort of reality stars and actors and UK celebs that are going, how did you get on there? We want to go on there. I say, you've got no chance. You know, and they've got 10 times the following of me. But that says something about Misfits that, you know, some really big names, they've got no chance of getting on here unless they can prove it to Mams and can show what they can do.
You just mentioned about WWE, because I'm a big WWE fan. What would you translate as being a character? If you were a character in WWE, to translate you, like if there's anyone that you recognize, who would it be?
I can't remember all the names. Is there an old man in WWE?
There's quite a few older men like they're making comebacks. I mean, The Rock just come back for a brief stint. I mean, the best he's ever done of his career.
Right. I'll just be the old man that comes back, you know. But no, I can't think of any off the top of my head.
And just to briefly talk, I mean, you know, you're still active in Knives Down as, you know, being an activist in that front. How's that been going in terms of spreading the message out there?
Misfits for me is it's a perfect market for me to put that message out there. There's a lot of young people that follow Misfits. And again, I say it, if one Misfits fan that carries a knife doesn't because, you know, suddenly I've made them feel guilty or I've opened their eyes, fantastic. One person, I've done my job. But look, I'm pushing it again. I've got it on my boots, my shorts, my poncho, my gum shield. I've got on everything for this fight. So I'm coming out big with a message. And again, even if it's one person who changed their minds, it's a job done.
And just a few final things from me. Obviously, there's been talks that potentially there might be KSI returning maybe at some point this year. Who do you think would be the next logical opponent for him? Because, I mean, there's a few names out there.
I would love to see KSI against Fury again. Because
the rematch.
I was there on the night and I had it as a draw. I know some people think KSI won. I don't see it as a win for KSI, and I don't really see it as a win for Fury. I'm convinced it was a draw. So I think if they can get their heads together, I don't think Fury particularly likes KSI, but if the money's there and it's right, I think that'd be great for Misfits.
And how do you think that sort of dynamic would go if a rematch were to happen? Like, you know, how would things be different compared to their first fight, do you reckon?
Either way, because they're both, I think they both realise that they didn't particularly put on a great show for boxing. So I think it'd be a lot more technical. Again, it could go either way. I've got to back the boss, KSI.
I mean, you know, final thing from me is, I mean, not looking past Kenny, but I know you said that, you know, you're grateful for any opportunity that comes along your way. You know, are there other names? I mean, because it looks like you're a fixture in Mixed Fits now. You're having your second fight here. Yeah. Is there anyone that in your mind that you want to come across one day?
Look, there's a few. We'll see how this goes. Yeah. I'm confident. Again, when I beat Kenny, the big names are there for me. If not, I'm back in the pack, and I'll trust Mams forever. But there's people like Dad, the American.
Okay.
There's a few people even like Ryan Taylor. I mean, I'd have to maybe come up a little bit. Tom Zanetti and I have spoke before. I know Tom. That would be a proper scrap, and I know Mams likes that.
I can imagine, because I know him being in the Kingpin tournament. Yeah. He had that fight with Jarvis, and I think there was another fight that he had prior to that. But yeah. I mean, he's a scrappy dude.
Proper, and that would be a proper.
The dynamics for you two would be absolutely great.
Me and him would put on a show. We'd be in the middle of the ring, you know, battering each other. Yeah. But again, look, I'm here. Even if I don't get past Kenny, I put on a good show. I'm here to fight people like Deji. You know, I'd like to fight Ed Matthews, because
wow, okay.
Ed Matthews was rude to me in Manchester.
Really? What happened?
Well, we was meant to fight. So instead of Swarms, I was sort of bussed in. I had a medical, and it fell through at the last moment.
I think I remember we talked about it.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like he showed me much respect. And my coach there, Simeon, has spoke to him before at York Hall, and he went, no, I wouldn't fight another old man. I'm done with old men. So, look, that's a door I'd like to shut, but I'm not sure he'd like to fight me, to be fair.
And you just mentioned Ryan Taylor, because Ryan Taylor is going to be facing Mist. You know, I've been seeing that there's been a lot of bad blood between them two. I mean, how do you expect that fight to go? Because, I mean, there's bad blood between the two.
I've caught up on the storyline with this, and it's huge. So credit to Mams and Misfits for putting this together. Look, Ryan Taylor needs a win. The guy needs a win. He can't keep coming to influencer boxing, getting paid hell of a lot of money to lose. So he's got to win this. He really has. I like Ryan, but, you know, a bit of self-respect, he's got to get that W on his record.
Well, I'm looking forward to how things build up with you and Kenny. I can imagine there'll be a lot of like jabs between the two of you in terms of like, you know, his response to you being, oh, I'm going to put him in retirement, I'm going to make him upset. What can we expect in terms of like the energy that you will give during fight week?
Look, I find it funny, you know, the old man jibes. There's nothing personal particularly in it. I am old compared to him. So, look, I think it's going to be good-natured. I haven't ever seen him be particularly disrespectful to his opponents. Sure. He seems like a nice guy.
Yeah, he is to me, so I got no problem.
I had a selfie with him at the Kingpin tournament because my son asked me to get some. I had a photo with Deji and a photo with Kenny and sent it to my boy. So now I'm in the ring with him. It's surreal. But look, I'll give him his respect, but on the night, the respect goes out the window.
So no friends until afterwards, basically. No, well, Adam, it's always a pleasure to see you. I know that fight week's going to be crazy between the two of you, and I wish you all the best of how it leads up.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.